Gentlemen, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, sir.
To all the moms out there that listen to the Cup of Mets podcast, and hopefully you all had a nice day.
Yeah, I mean none of us are mothers, but figured we just chuckling out there. Yeah, Robbie, how we doing, brother?
No, good man. It's good to be back. Thank you for accommodating me and holding it down like always. Coaching got a little hectic the last two weeks, but again, we're back and Mets baseball is still chugging. I mean, disappointing loss for the Knicks. Not to switch sports here, but I'm kind of nervous that we're tied 2-2 now with the Pacers. But at the end of the day, this is Cup of Mets, and we're talking Mets, and try to get my mind off the Knicks.
Yeah, hopefully the Knicks can turn it around, and obviously hopefully the Mets can turn it around. And we're recording. A lot of people, you'll be listening to this after the series finale, which will conclude tonight. Currently 1-1 in the. We're going to the bottom of the fifth inning. 1-1 Mets and Braves. The Mets have lost the first two against the Braves. They have not won a series since Los Angeles. But before we touch upon all that, just one quick note: the store is back open. Okay, head to cupofmets.com. Get your merch, sweatshirts, t-shirts, you name it. We may have it. Okay. So just check in there.
Yeah,
And then also, again, as always, be sure to use code Cup of Mets on your first purchase with SeatGeek to get $20 off. And with that said, when it pertains to the Mets, a couple quick notes here. Brandon Sprout and Ryan Clifford both promoted to Double A. I'll hand that one off to Matt. Matt, those are great signs from what looks like a frontline starter coming down the pipeline, as well as a big slugging potential corner outfielder or first baseman.
absolutely. And I'm excited about both of them. Sprout uh went 2-1 with a 1.07 ERA in 6 games started. So pretty good numbers. And I think that was he warranted that promotion. And Ryan Clifford, I think we're going to see a lot more home runs out of him as he gets out of the Brooklyn pitcher-friendly ballpark. Um, but honestly, I can't wait to see them at the Double A level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
A
was
lot
gonna
of,
say Double A is kind of like the true test. For both of those guys, it's a good sign, obviously, for the farm system and for the organization moving forward. But we'll see how Double A fares for both of them.
yeah. And a lot of people I've seen a few people on Twitter bring up or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. I know I say that every time we record, but a lot of people are saying, yes, Matt, you mentioned Brooklyn, pitcher friendly ballpark. Yeah, he only has one home run, has only driven in 10. Some people were confused a little bit why he got the call. Well, he's got a 412 on base percentage. Okay. Um, so he's walked 32 times. He's halfway to his full mark. He walked 64 times last year. He's halfway to that mark already. And he's only played in 31 games last year. He played in 115 games. So, um, Ryan Clifford's ability to recognize the strike zone and get on base has really lifted him and has supplemented the lack of power and run production that he's provided so far. So again, as both you mentioned, hopefully as he heads up to Binghamton, despite it being, bumble fuck up there, hopefully the power kicks in and we can see him, kill the baseball like he did last year. Um, Another note, yesterday during the Mets' ugly loss, Matt, you were there. They nearly got no hit by Max Fried.
Awful.
Thank goodness for JD Martinez coming in clutch, hitting his first home run. He's the only Met hitting, and we'll talk about that. But Brandon Nimmo left the game after one AB with a slight strain in his intercostal muscle. I still call it an oblique. At the end of the day, he was interviewed during tonight's broadcast, and he said that he will most likely be back in the lineup tomorrow, or potentially he could get an AB tonight. So it doesn't seem to be too serious. So it looks like we avoided, something major there. Because if we lose Brandon Nimmo, you could just throw the season away completely. And then, two other very negative notes. Oh, I'll mention this as well. Johan Ramirez is back. Him and Michael Tonkin have been the back and forth to all different teams, from the minors to the majors, DFA'd, going here, go there. He pitched for the Orioles. Johan Ramirez is back. So that's that. And then, as I said, the two negative notes. So Brooks Raley has been shut down completely from his rehab assignment. he will seek a second opinion as there's potential that he will need season-ending surgery on his elbow.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. And you know what? I had a feeling the other day. I'm not sure if you caught Mendoza's presser, but he said straight up that they were hoping that he would return. So as soon as you hear hoping return at some point this season, you start to question, if he's going to return. And obviously, if that second opinion, doesn't go his way, then we lose Brooks Raley for the entire season. And then Kodai Senga, his rehab was shut down as well. Apparently, he has to, work on his mechanics. Obviously, he hasn't thrown this year. So, working on your mechanics, you would expect. However, he was ramping up in the bullpen sessions. He was set to make a rehab appearance. So, not good news on either front. We were expecting end of May, beginning of June. I don't see that happening. And now I'm kind of sitting here hoping that we see Kodai this year.
No, yeah, definitely. Again, I mean, I think they're moving in the smart direction, just not really rushing them back. Because again, the way the Mets are playing, it just seems like we're just going to try to get through the season playing 500 baseball. Again, Senga, I'd rather him ready for or healthy for next year, opposed to like trying to rush him back again in 2024. But definitely a big blow to the pitching staff as a whole. Same with Brooks Raley. It kind of sucks because his situation's a little different. He's coming off a good to great year last year, and then again he's got one more year with the Mets, and then I believe he hits free agency. So not a good look in terms of Brooks Raley's situation, but I think the Mets are handling Kodai's situation a little better, and just not really rushing him back in, considering that the Mets haven't really been playing playoff baseball or good enough baseball. So I have no problem with that.
I may be wrong, but I think this is Brooks Raley's last year in contract for the Mets.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like coming off that contract year, you obviously want to pitch well and make the most appearances that you can, so you can make more money next year, or even just keep pitching in the bigs next year. So whether it's with the Mets or with somebody else, but again, and honestly, that's the best lefty in the organization or in the bullpen. So it's a big loss for the bullpen. That's been kind of a strength this year. And again, like I just feel for him.
And it sucks because we can't even tap down into Nate Lavender because he's also done for the year. So,
Yeah, exactly.
So we're writing Diekman till the end. As far as left-handers go, David Peterson made a rehab appearance. Hopefully he's on the mend. Same with Tyler and McGill, so we can get them back. Peterson obviously would be a lefty, but the rotation has kind of struggled a little bit. So there are some opportunities for the both of them, and we'll dive into that. We're going to break this episode down just in two fragments here, right? I don't know about you guys. I don't feel the need to dive into the entirety of what went wrong in the two games against the Braves, nor, in the series prior against the Cardinals. They're not looking great, and they haven't won a series since Los Angeles. And, offensively speaking, I have to pull up this tweet here because I believe it was Michael Barron or Mike Mayer. They put out numbers since April 21st. Offensively speaking, JD Martinez has the highest batting average at 267. After that, Nimmo, 254, Lindor, 239, McNeil, 227, Bader, 227, Marte, 214, Taylor, 206, Nito, 205, Beatty, 190, Alonso, 185, and Stewart, 147, despite DJ having two hits tonight. Also Harrison Bader has complained about his playing time. That's a separate thing. We don't even really need to touch upon that. I think that the Mets have kind of handled that situation correctly. He's kind of cooled off at the dish. Him and Taylor both kind of provide the same type of defense in the outfield as well. So I don't really feel the need to talk about that. And also, since that report came out, I don't know about you guys, but he's been in the lineup the last several games. So
yeah, exactly.
Man, we have one of our biggest issues lies deep into the organization, and it's hitting. These guys can't hit the fucking ball.
Yeah,
they're swinging at everything, and they're not even looking good doing it.
Yeah. So
that's the worst part.
Yeah. So here's my question. Okay, I'll start with you, Matt. Who's the most alarming figure you're seeing at the dish right now for the Mets?
Pete Alonso.
Even
He
with
looks
the
terrible.
even with the nice RBI single tonight?
Okay, I don't care about that. But
No, no.
what's his average right now? 188.
No, it's like 217.
Nah, and after that report came out about the money that he declined, he better start showing something, or he's not even getting that offer,
No,
or
no.
he's possibly getting traded at the deadline. And to be quite honest, I'm starting to be more and more open to that.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess, and I'll ask you, Rob. I mean, do you have a particular bat in the lineup that is most concerning to you? Is it Alonso or
To be honest, it's it's the quote unquote core. McNeil's not hitting, Lindor's not hitting, Nimmo's not hitting, and then he got hurt the other day, and most importantly, Alonso. This is a guy who we've talked about could hit 40 to 50 home runs a year, and now again, like he's just cooled off so much to the point where it's like you're talking about trading him, you're talking about the future, and how, and then of course this report comes out that he declined an offer and this and that, but it's just sad to see because again, like the Mets prided themselves in the beginning on their pitching and that their pitching kept them in games and this, that, and the third. It just feels like another typical Mets season where the pitching's on and the hitting's not. Or if the pitching gives up 5 runs and the hitting or the offense fights back and puts up 4, 5, 6 runs, but we give it up right away again on the pitching end. But it's just like a roller coaster season already, and it's not even 50 games in. Um, it just disappointing because again, like even Marte, a guy who I said was the X factor to begin the year, started off great, looked like Starling Marte of 2022, and now he can't get, he's striking out left and right.
go for his
Again,
last 11?
yeah, and I think Carlos Mendoza, like, and I'm not trying to pick on him, but I think again, like leading off a guy like DJ Stewart, he's trying to get something going, but you still see the same 2, 3, 4, 5 in the lineup. I don't know. It's really disappointing to see because not only are they not hitting, they're not hitting with runners in scoring position again. Brett Beatty's went from and defensively he's been great, but on the hitting aspect, like he started off hitting 300, and then all of a sudden it's like going back down to 190 or
Yep.
200, not lifting the ball in the air. Like it's just again you ask yourself, it's like what do we do when it hits June, July,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's definitely, with the expanded wild card, if the Mets are around 500, you would hope that they wouldn't sell just based off, like, listen, we saw it last year with the Diamondbacks, right? But at the same time, I think that even though we're 18 and 20, we're only 38 games into the season. You
Yeah.
have to consider the realities here. You both mentioned Alonso, and we'll talk about, a potential trade. But for me, Alonso is beyond concerning, and now the Braves have first and second, nobody out. Alonso's beyond concerning to me because the last several seasons, Rob, you and I spoke about it over the last 2 years. To me,
Mhm.
he's becoming more and more one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Listen, he plays a good first base, and we didn't really expect that when he came up. He worked his ass off to become the first baseman that he is. But last year, you saw it. 217 average, 318 on base percentage. The year before, 271, 352. The year before that, 262, 344 on base percentage. So the average and the on base percentage has been slowly declining each and every year. The power numbers are still there. He's still on track to hit 35 plus home runs. But yes, he was offered a contract, 7 years. What was it, like 26 mil annually? Something around there?
22. It was 7 years, like 150 something
Yeah, I
with an
think that
eighth year vesting option.
yeah, I think that's 26. Am I bugging?
It's like 21, a little below 22. So it's like 21.85 or whatever.
Well, yeah. So I mean the
I
Mets,
don't know the exact number, but I did the math the other day and it was like 21.82 million a year or whatever it was.
I thought they offered him 7 years, 185.
I saw like 157, but if that's the case, still
Yeah,
like
I thought
you turn that down.
158 or 168.
Was it that? Oh,
Still, you
okay. So
turn
then
that
yeah.
down, like that's like Conforto all over again when he turned down that deal and now he's just another regular player.
And the
Does
and
play every day, but
Yeah, and the thing is that like the most concerning thing to me is, put the average aside, because if he was getting on base at a 350, 360, 370 clip,
Mhm.
it would be a different story. But something that I wonder now is like, if he's continues this, and let's say we get to the trade deadline, he has 25 home runs, he's driven in 60 or 70, right? His on base percentage is 320, 330. His average is where it is. He's got 20 doubles, whatever. What are we going to get for him? Right? I, I really question. I was actually looking through, you have a lot of very surprising teams that are emerging this year, whether it be the Royals or the Tigers or something along that, and they could use a power bat, right? And you look at those teams. I mean, the Mets aren't getting a guy like Jackson Jobe for Pete Alonso,
I don't
from
know.
the
I'd call Seattle and see if they'd
Yeah,
offer up any of those young pitchers.
I was gonna say
Ryan Wu.
Seattle,
Bryce Miller.
Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Again, someone that's missing that. Even Tampa Bay, like again, I know they were struggling until they played the Mets, but
I'm afraid to.
Because think about it. You can always re-sign him. He's going to free agency.
Yeah.
At this point, he's going to free agency. If you really want him, then maybe he'll give you the chance to match his highest offer in free agency and watch that offer be so much worse than what they offered him. Like now we're stuck with the decline of Jeff McNeil. Like his hitting is down the drain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the most concerning thing to me. And, I think when it comes to Alonso, you can go ahead and when the trade deadline comes, unless there's a massive bopper that's on the market outside of Alonso, yeah, the Mets could probably reel in two of a team's top 10 prospects, right? For the last couple months, you would think. But again, his stock was crazy high, and now the Braves are taking the lead. His stock was extremely high, and Alonso's been the player that he is, and now his stock's going down the tubes as we're heading towards the summer, and it's just unfortunate because, Rob, you said it before. Whether it's Nimmo or Stewart at the top of the lineup, they're kind of setting a tone, and then 2, 3, 4 is doing absolutely nothing in the lineup.
yeah,
And then we talk about McNeil. McNeil doesn't even look like he knows how to hit anymore.
Guys, 1 through 9 isn't doing anything in the lineup.
No.
1 through 9. Nobody is doing anything. That's the issue. Yeah, we're having good pitching, but if we have good pitching and the other team scores 2, 3 runs and we can't score anything,
no, of course,
that's an issue.
Mhm.
We're not getting blown out, guys. We're not
No.
getting blown out.
No.
We've gotten blown out.
Yeah, we can't hit with runners in scoring position. We can't consistently hit the ball. We cannot score at home. I think we're averaging 3.5 runs per game at home, and we're averaging close to 6 runs on the road. Something that I just want to bring up with McNeil. Yeah, you said it. We're stuck with him for another 2 years beyond this year after signing him to the 4-year contract. If you head to his baseball savant, he's in the first percentile when it comes to barrel percentage. He's in the 9th percentage when it comes to hard hit percentage. That's not Jeff McNeil-esque. 17th percentile when it comes to average exit velocity. And then when you go to more traditional numbers, his OPS 2022 when he won the batting title was 836. Last year was 711. Not speaking about the convenience store. And then this year, thus far, it's 630. It's a real issue that the Mets have on their hands when it comes to a guy like Jeff McNeil. So what do you do there? And I mean, Acuna's finally hitting. I mean, do you tap into that? I mean, I have no. I mean, I don't.
I don't know.
There's no.
I don't think. I mean, the only circumstance I would call up Acuna, which I wouldn't do it just yet, is if they were to trade him at the deadline, McNeil. If somehow somebody wanted him, which who knows if anybody would want him. I mean, his salary's not substantial.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about a team that, listen, at the end of the day, Jeff McNeil's a slap hitter. You put him with a maybe a change of scenery, maybe whatever, that maybe a team could squeeze 280, 290, 300 out of him, right? Yeah. Again, you said it. The contract's not that bad. I do want to try to rid ourselves of Jeff McNeil. Obviously, I'm not in charge here, but McNeil to me is extremely troublesome because the versatility aspect that he always provided, he still provides, but that kind of is out the window for me because he's doing absolutely nothing at the dish. His at bats are lifeless. Pitchers know how to pitch to him. All you got to do is pitch down and into him. You have to jam him, and he's
Exactly.
either he's
At
either
this point, yeah, you're better off giving those at bats to like Luke Ritter in AAA. You got to see what you got there.
yeah, McNeil's either rolling over on the ball to the right side of the infield, or he's hitting the ball in the air. And Rob, you mentioned Brett Beatty before. Brett Beatty as well. I'm saying this right now. We're running through this lineup. You said it before, 1 through 9. Shit, Matt. You're right. Okay. Brett Beatty, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. Okay. I'll be the first to say I'm done with him. I really am. You throw anything that has sinking motion to it, he's gonna swing and he's gonna miss. Every single time. I don't know if he needs to get down more when he's up because he's a straight up hitter. And he's a big kid, but pitchers know how to pitch to him. You throw a changeup, you throw a sinker that's down, he's swinging right through it. They are lifeless garbage at bats. And I truthfully think that, and this is something that the Mets can do internally, I think they should send Brett Beatty down, use one of his options, and bring Vientos back up.
I agree. I agree. They need to do that. He needs a reset, and Vientos needs a shot at third. Bro, if we come away without a third baseman with those two, that's really bad development.
Awful.
Terrible.
Awful.
Yeah. Like not good at all.
No. And it's just so frustrating because you could see the writing on the wall watching Brett Beatty slash in the minors, watching him when we drafted him. A lot of people were comparing him to a Christian Yelich, somebody who can hit 15 to 25 home runs, but hit for a good average because, he's a good contact oriented hitter. He just doesn't look good. And I'm really getting tired of the same shit because I'm seeing very similar traits in both McNeil and Beatty. You just got to throw the ball down and they'll swing and miss. And the same goes for Alonso. He's swinging at shit. He's expanding his zone like crazy, whether it's a slider away completely off the plate or two seamers, sinkers, whatever it is, changeups down in the zone, swinging right through it. And I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't think it's on Eric Chavez, right? But do you fire Eric Chavez? Is that something that you do? Like, I have no idea. It's not even worth it because I don't like Jeremy Barnes either.
I don't really like Mendoza's staff that much.
I like Gibby.
And of course I like Hefner.
Yeah, well, Hefner's has some work to do with the pitching as well. The entire organization needs some help right now.
And all I kept hearing yesterday, oh, we're a game out of a wild card spot, and I was just like, oh.
How was the atmosphere yesterday? Almost getting no hit.
Ooh, it got windy. Oh, like seventh inning, sun went behind those clouds, got really windy. It was quiet, man.
Did everybody just come? Did everyone just come for the bobblehead and dip, or what?
Bro, mad people didn't get the bobblehead.
True.
Half 3/4 of the stadium didn't get it. People were walking around trying to buy them. And of course, I see this fuckhead Yankees fan with his Yankees hat on. It's like, I'll sell it. I'll sell in the bobblehead.
Yeah. I wonder, I haven't looked on eBay. I wonder how much they're asking for them.
At least you got to see Christian Scott.
Yeah. Versus that Braves lineup, he held himself really well.
And that's something, Matt, in the last episode, we were talking about that we thought that we were going to see Christian Scott at some point this month. And then the next day he was called up. The Mets realized the urgency and they realized how much Adrian Hauser sucked.
That's what this fucking bobblehead is going for right now on eBay.
120.
Not that high, but 85, 70, 80, 90, 50, 63.
Sickos with the bobbleheads. I mean,
This picture was literally taken at outside Citi Field at their cars.
Well, Rob, do you remember last year when they gave away those corduroy Met hats
Yeah.
and they were on eBay that
Yeah.
I'm not saying the same day, but while we were at the stadium,
Hmm.
they were literally on eBay.
Yeah, I do remember that. And like the Francisco Lindor gnome was popular too
Yep.
2 years
Yep.
ago. So
There's really not a lot that's good.
I used our SeatGeek code, so that was nice.
There we go. Somebody's using it. Yeah. We yeah, a
Didn't
couple,
even go to my seats up in the 538, whatever it was.
I know. I know. What you tango with eating was.
I did. We did. We went to Amazing Chicken Co. Got the chicken tenders and the potato kegs, which are like cheesy tots almost.
yeah.
They're fucking amazing.
Nice.
And then after that, we got Prince Street Pizza. We got a slice of the hot pepperoni slice.
Have you been to Prince Street Pizza in
In
general?
Manhattan. Yeah.
So, what's the comparison? Is it the same?
The only thing it is pretty it's like 90% the same. Prince Street, it's just hotter and crispier.
Yeah.
This one, mine was just a little soggy, I'd say.
Yeah.
So like when I went to take a bite, like it was still delicious. Don't get me wrong.
I love all the words you're using.
You know,
Using a lot of very descriptive words. I love that.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
dude, you know all the food there is amazing.
I know. I know. Rob and I dipped into it quite a bit a couple weeks ago. Last note on the offense, as we divert from the offense to food back to the offense.
Yeah.
Just the catching situation. I feel like everything went down the tubes for the Mets when Francisco Alvarez got hurt. That's when things started to really fall off the rails. I want Omar Narvaez gone more than anything. He sucks. He is so
I'm not
useless.
even sure they could even pull off like a McCann trade with him.
No,
Like
no,
I don't think anybody would take him, even if we paid them.
no.
I wish we were able to send guys to the LI Ducks. That'd be the greatest thing.
Narvaez is awful. Like I can't think of one thing that he's done. I mean, he's hitting 178, but he also cannot throw out a base runner to save his life. And
Aren't we like top of the league in base runners allowed?
I'm pretty
Which is
sure
the
we're
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
we're
sure
one.
We've only
yeah,
thrown out 1 or 2 runners this year.
yeah. And they've both
Like
been
that.
Nito.
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy.
It's brutal, you know, and I said those numbers 178. He I think he has like 45 at bats.
Mhm.
Tomas Nito, 39 at bats. He's hitting 205. Zero offensive production from the catching position.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't say that any of us expected much offensive production once Alvarez went down from the catching position. But at the end of the day, A, nobody's being thrown out, and B, the rest of the lineup isn't hitting. Therefore, it makes that position that much more important, and we're not getting any production from that. So just a total shit show offensively.
Oh, Alonso home run.
Pete Alonso. Oh,
Oh,
off the
RBI
wall. All right, tie
RBI
ball game. Oh, crap.
He's fine.
Lindor made that a little closer than he should have though.
Did you guys
Just
know
tag him. Just tag him, that's fine.
MLB.com updated the top 100
Did they?
and our top 30 prospects? So in actually a different order. Our top prospect, Jet Williams. 2 is Gilbert. 3 is Christian Scott now.
Hmm.
4 is Clifford. 5 is Luis Angel Acuna. 6, Ronnie Mauricio. 7, Colin Huck. He looks really bad, dude. This is a problem. This starts like, I don't know who's teaching these kids how to hit, but like, it's not good.
Colin Huck.
He's also
I'm
18 though.
talking about the whole organization, like top to bottom, who's teaching everybody, like at the lower minors, because
Hey, Alex Ramirez looks good.
he's swiping a lot of bags.
And again, Acuna's finally hitting. So let's take solace in that. That's a positive.
We need Williams and Drew Gilbert to get back. They've been hurt all year. pretty
I know.
much.
I know. So it's not even like we have any reinforcements in the minors, aside from like Jose Iglesias and some of the like G-Man Choi and some of the, quadruple A players.
But what stands out to me on this new updated is our new number 20 prospect, Jonah Tong.
He
He's
is filthy.
he looks good.
At
He's in 6 games, he has a 0.33 ERA.
yeah.
Oh my God. 47 strikeouts over 27 innings.
Jeez.
Insane.
Yeah, Jonah Tong's gonna be definitely gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So listen, again, between Christian Scott and what we've seen from him thus far, Brandon Sprout getting promoted, right? And he looks like he could be a frontline starter.
Headwell.
Tidwell, Tong, they have the framework. Unfortunately, they're not all major league ready. Also, Dom Hamill as well. And I think that we could see Dom Hamill at some point this year once the Mets fire sale. And
I don't think I mean, maybe we'll see Dom Hamill. He's not really looking that good this year at AAA.
doesn't matter. Call him up anyway. It can't get any worse.
So yeah, he's already 25 years old.
Yeah, yeah. So you may as well. Switching over, we're still in the bad category here. Starting pitching, starting to struggle. I think we can all agree. Luis Severino and Christian Scott are the only pitchers that are throwing well in the rotation.
Yeah. Everybody, let's get Quintana out of here.
Dude, I want Quintana gone.
We might actually be able to get a low level prospect for him.
You think so?
Maybe.
Right now, he's
Maybe.
getting shelled.
Maybe if he has like a few bounce back starts. I mean, our next series is against the Phillies. I'm pretty sure he has one of those games.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna shut down that lineup.
No, he's been awful. He's been awful. I mean, but like even like an Adrian Hauser, right? He started 6 games. They moved him to the bullpen to accommodate to bring up Christian Scott, rightfully so. 7.63 ERA, 5.31 FIP. So it's not like it was bad luck. He sucks. He sucks. Quintana sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything like so bad about Sean Manaea because Sean Manaea has at least kept the Mets in the game. But Manaea is kind of showing why I think we saw the Giants shift him to the bullpen last year because he really struggles to go beyond 5, 6 innings. You look at his 3 starts ago when he faced the Giants in San Francisco. He only went 4 2/3, didn't give up a run, but he walked 4 batters and struck out 6. Therefore, his pitch count was high. Against the Cubs, went 5 innings, 1 run allowed, but walked 4 more batters, struck out 3. His last game against St. Louis, in St. Louis, he picked up the victory in their lone win there. And he went 6, but that's the most he's gone this year. He gave up 3 earned runs. He only walked 1. That was good, but I don't know, man. Like again, Manaea, I'll give him a pass, but both Quintana and Hauser absolutely suck. Quintana now on the season 1-4, 5.44 ERA and 41 1/3 of an inning, only striking out 28. I'm curious to see what his FIP is because it can't be much better than his ERA because he's getting shelled right now. Quintana's FIP is 5. Yeah, he's trash. He's trash.
I thought that signing was trash when they made it.
So did I. So did I. And surprisingly, he looked pretty good last year. But and the funny thing is, the game the other day, when he started against the Braves, when he starts his motion quicker and he takes that first step, normally he has more zip on the ball and he looks a lot better. And that's how the first inning or two started to go. And then he completely kind of fell off and he looked like crap. And I don't think Quintana is sustainable right now in this rotation. He's 35 years old. Sure, he's still throwing, 90 1 miles per hour averaging on his fastball. But again, that's not going to do it when the secondary pitches aren't working. He's getting lit up. Strikeouts through 9, 6, and that's cutting it nicely. Still, he's walking nearly 4 batters a game, giving up nearly 2 home runs per game. So it's pretty alarming. And that's another signing similar to Narvaez, where you kind of questioned. Obviously, the Mets needed another arm last year, but that was another one where you kind of shake your head and you go, all right, well, they're providing absolutely nothing this year. And we can look back and say that we questioned it from the get-go last year, and you're seeing it kind of come to fruition this year, and they're just not playing well whatsoever. And the reinforcements that we have in the upper minors aren't really going to save us. And that's kind of.
This was always a transition year, I feel. I just really hope that they were not like 3 or 4 games out of a wild card come trade deadline and they decide to buy. That'd be just dumb.
Yeah, we trade Jet Williams for like another Hobby Baez or something like that, like we did with Pete Crow Armstrong.
That'd be just fantastic, right?
That'd be brutal. So yeah, Hauser sucks, Quintana sucks, Manaea needs to go further in games. Last thing on the bad portion, and I mean, listen, we could probably take out a few other shitty things that's going on with the Mets because, quite frankly, things are not going well whatsoever. But Edwin Diaz, I don't think that any of us could necessarily say that he was going to come back this year and be who he was right away in 2022, despite him looking that way early on this year. But he blew his first save. His fastball velo, and again, velo does not mean everything, but for Diaz, he's missing about 2 miles per hour on his fastball. And that has kind of plagued him a little bit. His fastball's been up in the zone. The 2-run home run that Christopher Morel hit against him, that was left up in the zone. He's got a 3.64 FIP. So again, 2.45 ERA, but he's got a 3.64 FIP. So that ERA is not necessarily telling in terms of how good he is. You look at a 2.45 ERA and you say, all right, he's having a really good year. But then the FIP is 3.64, and that's very concerning as the Mets squander a potential go-ahead run. Jeff McNeil grounds out, of course.
Fucking bum.
Rob, who do you hate the most right now on the Mets?
Everybody. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Honestly, Jeff McNeil, like he's just not hitting weak at bats. But going back to Edwin Diaz, I think with minimal save opportunities and just not getting enough work, obviously that's what's going to happen. You get your 1 inning of work every 3-4 days. You're not going to come out sharp. And again, the year off obviously didn't help him in terms of the velocity, I feel, because again he did injure his landing leg. But again, I just believe that minimal work and not getting the constant inning after inning or constant save opportunities plays a toll. And again, like you said, his fastball, he's leaving it up a little bit. The one to Christopher Morel comes out to mind when he just left it up in middle, and it got driven out the ballpark. So again, just you hope that the Mets can again give him more opportunities to pitch every 2, 3, 4 times a week. But again, when you're not scoring, it's hard to get a guy like Edwin Diaz, and even when we're losing. So.
And then the home run to Randy Arozarena as well in
Yep.
Tampa Bay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was a slider
and that's unfortunate because that was with 2 outs, but
yeah. And that was a slider that he completely missed his location. I don't know if it was Nito or Narvaez. They both suck, so I really don't care. One of them, whoever was catching, they wanted that slider down. They wanted that slider down and in. He left it up. Listen, was it in? Was it in? Yeah, but he left it up. And he got shelled. And over his last 7 games, he's pitching to a 3.52 ERA. So 6 hits and 7 2/3 of an inning. So again, Diaz is the least of our worries right now. I think we can all agree on that. the offense and the lack of starting pitching from the two aforementioned starters and Hauser and Quintana, as well as Mania to an extent, has been the more worrisome part. But again, the Mets somehow are 18-20 and kind of still keeping it afloat. But again, as you said, Matt, it is a transition season. And I think we're seeing that kind of come into fruition. And hopefully, for the Mets' sake, personally speaking, not necessarily me, but I'm talking about some of the players. Hopefully, the players can perform well. So at least we get a good bang for our buck if we do wind up selling at the deadline.
Yeah.
Moving on to the good, because there is some good that's occurring with the Mets right now. And I'm going to start right off the bat, Mr. Christian Scott. He's looked phenomenal thus far. Made his debut in Tampa against a good offense. He stifled them. 6 2/3, 5 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And then Matty, the game that you were at yesterday, despite picking up his first loss, he went 6, gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts against a very, very good Braves team. Guys, what are you seeing from Christian Scott that you think is making him such an effective pitcher?
I think his control, his command has been there. He's throwing the right pitches, and I love his mentality. I love his energy on the mound. I feel like we haven't seen somebody like that since like Zach Wheeler or Matt Harvey.
Well, Severino shows some emotion on the mound.
I'm talking about a prospect, that a homegrown guy.
Yeah.
But I think so far I'm really liking what he's shown. He's went past 6 innings, which for us it's like, wow, holy shit. Went past 6 innings. Like maybe we can get to 7 or something like that, but he's looked fantastic.
No, yeah, he's definitely showed guts. I do agree with Matt in that sense that, he's not trying to nitpick his pitches. He's just going out there and being a pitcher. Again, Zach Wheeler is a great comparison. That's what I said. Watching his first start against Tampa Bay, that he reminded me of Zach Wheeler. Again, a guy who has velo on his fastball, not afraid to throw it. Whether it's to challenge a hitter or again to, make a pitch, but his slider is very effective. And again, a guy who generates a lot of swings and misses and can pitch past the 5th inning is something the Mets need right now. So I'm happy for him, and again, I hope he continues his success. I picked him up in the fantasy league, by the way, but
Good pickup. When I was watching him throw in Tampa, I really, between him wearing 45, which is what Wheeler wore, to his slider, ooh, almost got him. To his slider, he does remind me of Zach Wheeler. When he comes set,
they're challenging.
Yeah. Oh, the Mets are challenging. Beautiful.
Yeah.
When he comes set, that's the only time that he does not look like Zach Wheeler. Aside from that, when he's in his motion, when he releases the ball, when that slider cuts across the plate, when he challenges with the fastball, he looks like Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, I agree.
And on top of it, wearing the same number, fuck yeah.
He might be out.
Yeah, but the replay center has a vendetta against the Mets, so probably not. Probably not. Oh,
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, he should be out. Do we want to make a bet that that this call is not overturned?
Nice.
Oh, it is over.
Second time Acuna's been picked off this game. Again, top 7, 2-2. Mets are tied with the Braves. Reed Garrett doing Reed Garrett things. Talk about him a little bit, Ian. He's been a monster out the bullpen.
Woo! Yo, between Reed Garrett and Sean Reed Foley, those two have been absolutely electric.
Mm-hmm.
Reed Garrett.
Garrett's nasty. He's nasty.
Ooh, yeah. Reed Garrett thus far. Definitely want to see now the updated figures, but Reed Garrett on the season, it's pitched to a .44 ERA. Okay, in 14 games. He has struck out 3 more batters tonight. I'm not sure if MLB has adjusted it yet. On the season, 20 1/3 of an inning, and he struck out 35 batters. Reed Garrett is electric on the mound, and talk about energy. He brings it. What a
Yeah,
pickup.
he just celebrated that ground up, which is nice.
What a pickup by Billy Epler.
No, definitely, and and I like Sean Reed Foley's story a little bit. You know, he had a first stint with the Mets a couple years ago, and he you saw the potential, and then he got injured. I think I want to say he got Tommy John or something with his shoulder.
Tommy John.
But then the fact that the Mets, uh, not re-signed him, but like again got him back, and now he's the pitcher. He looks not grown, but he looks like matured. You know what I mean? Like just not like not falling behind hitters, pounding the zone, trusting his fastball regardless of the injuries, and again that stash is lethal. So again, I'm just happy for both of them. Again, good pickups for the bullpen. I like the next man up mentality with this Mets bullpen this year.
Foley's only allowed 2 hits this year. He hasn't allowed a run, 9 appearances. He struck out 13 batters in 8 2/3 of an inning. Between Sean Reed Foley and Reed Garrett, I mean, talk about coming out of nowhere. And they can both.
Sean Reed Foley's been around, bro. He's just been getting hurt.
Yeah, he's just been getting hurt. But the thing is, the most that he's ever thrown this season is 33 and a third of an inning, and that was in his rookie season when the Blue Jays were dabbling with him in the starting rotation. So he really has not been healthy. Knock on wood, fingers crossed that he can stay healthy. But again, him and Reed Garrett have been tremendous. And I personally, if the Mets are out of it at the deadline, I wouldn't trade Reed Garrett because of how much control the Mets have on him.
But if trade Reed Foley.
But if Sean Reed Foley continues this, I would trade him based off the fact that he doesn't have as much time left on the docket. And, again, he'll be a free agent after the 2027 season. So, again, the Mets do have 3 more years of control on Sean Reed Foley. But given his injury history, I think we can all agree that if Reed Foley is pitching the way he is, that's definitely, and we know how much bullpen arms, can get you on the trade market. Bullpen arms are absolutely needed. And the thing that I like about both of them so far is you want a lefty to get lefties out. Unfortunate what's going on with Brooks Raley and Jake Diekman hasn't been tremendous, but Reed Garrett and Sean Reed Foley have both been able to get both right and left-handed pitchers out. Pitchers. Sean Reed Foley and Reed Garrett have both been able to get both left and right-handed hitters out, and that's been a really nice thing to see in the bullpen. Again, staying within the good portion and going back to the rotation, again, Rob, you and I, we got receipts on Matt for this.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Butto, I think, is a major league starting pitcher, and I think that he has a place in the future for the Mets.
Yeah. No, yeah. Again, I mean, he's been doing what he kind of advertised in spring training. Challenging hitters, trusting his stuff, and the velo's up. And again, another guy who, when he's on, he can go past 5 innings. And I'm just happy for him, to be honest, because again, like Tyler McGill, he had more upside, but Jose Butto was more of like the guy who was counted out a little bit and kind of proved himself. So, and he reminds me of Jose Barrios. I mean, kind of similar. Well, first of all, same name, but similar motion, similar pitch types, or pitches thrown. But again, a nice little hidden gem for the Mets moving forward.
And the thing that I like about Butto, you brought up McGill. The thing that I like about Butto is I feel like his potential success is more sustainable given the fact that he's not going out there trying to throw 98, 99, 100 every pitch, whereas Tyler McGill, he consistently injures that shoulder because that's what he does.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're not wrong with that.
Yeah, listen, 16 games pitched in the majors, 14 games started thus far, and he's accumulated a 3.99 ERA, Matty. So, again, we'll need a little bit more time to completely throw you under the bus, but yeah, a little bit more time.
Yeah, let's wait till July.
All right, wait till July. Sounds good.
Talk to me on end of July.
End of July? Okay. Yeah. We'll touch base then on that. Last note regarding the good side, of the Mets before we wind down episode 7 of season 3 here of the Cup of Mets podcast. The only guy that's hitting in the lineup right now is the newest figure in JD Martinez. He hit his first home run as a New York Met the other night. The other day broke up the no-hitter. To me, he's not hitting for power, but he's getting those hits. And the thing that I like about him is actually, I think Eduardo Perez was talking about this on the broadcast tonight. JD Martinez is the one guy that's more bottom heavy when he swings, so he's able to loft the ball out. Whereas a guy like Pete Alonso, even though he's a power hitter, he's still top heavy. And that's why he's still grounding out a shit ton. You're seeing Martinez strike out, but you're also seeing him make contact, and he's lifting the ball, right? He ripped a double off the wall in one of his first games. He's got 2 doubles on the year in 15 games. He's got 13 hits and 48 at bats. It almost feels like he's gotten at least 1 hit in every game, aside from maybe like 2 or 3, which is really nice to see. But I really like what I've seen from JD Martinez thus far, and at $12 million, he's another nice trade chip, especially if the power starts to come into play.
Absolutely. And we'll see.
I mean, think about it. If the market is barren, the Mets could go out there and advertise Pete Alonso and JD Martinez.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
This is a big like 3 weeks for us. I really want to see where we're at mid-June.
Yeah, and I think people tend to forget. I mean, maybe not us, but or maybe not true Met fans or the guys that follow the team day to day. But like JD Martinez did start the season late. Again, he didn't have a full spring training, so this is probably all new for him. But again, I would love to see him hit more for power. But at the end of the day, he's a gap to gap hitter, and again, he drives the ball to right center all the time, doubles machine, and that's what we've seen so far. That's why again, we talked about the lineup. Again, I think you guys just got to get your best guys more ABs. So whether it's Nimmo leading off and maybe moving Marte back down in the lineup, then you got Lindor 2, Pete 3, and JD 4. Which again, I'm not saying Mendoza's not considering it, but again, it's something you have to consider, especially when again your bottom half of your lineup's not hitting consistently. I think again too, like a guy like Marte moving down can lengthen the lineup in terms of more contact uh down at the end of the lineup. But again, like it's just the fact that they don't want to move Pete up or keep Lindor at the 3 hole. It's like something's got to change, and I really don't want to see like again no disrespect. I don't want to see a guy like DJ Stewart lead off again. To be honest with you, the more ABs, the better, in my opinion, especially with your big boppers. So hopefully JD can continue this little hit streak, and we'll see. But I do like what I've seen from JD so far.
I like the idea of a Nimmo, kind of like what you said, Nimmo, Lindor, even though Pete's annoying the shit out of me, Alonso, because then if you back him up with Martinez, Pete will probably have a couple more pitches to see that are in his wheelhouse. Um, and then go with, I don't know. I don't know. I'd be lying if I said that I could pull it off the top of my head right now because there's so many moving pieces. I don't think Marte's a 5 hitter. He's more like a 6 hitter. I love the fact that Mendoza moved McNeil down to 8 because again, there's no contact down there. Even with McNeil, there's no contact down there. But at least again, as you said, it lengthens it out. But the Mets do have a major problem in the fact that the guys that are supposed to hit are not hitting, and therefore we're not scoring any runs. And when only one guy appears to be hitting, you have a serious, serious issue. And then factor in the complication that the Mets are now seeing with their starters not performing as well as, we had hoped. Um, it's a recipe for disaster. And Matt, you mentioned before the Phillies are coming into town. Once the Mets finish up their series tonight with the Braves, hopefully they could salvage the series finale. But the Phillies are 28-13. They're playing tremendous ball. Trey Turner's on the IL, and they're still playing like great baseball. So
Yeah, and then I think at the end of the month we have the Dodgers again and Diamondbacks. I think
yeah,
we have another West Coast trip.
yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yeah. All right.
Things are gonna get interesting really fucking quick.
Yeah. Yep. No, listen, they are. Listen, I'll tell you this. My hot take tonight. I think the Mets are gonna win tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet it's either Kelnick or Darno. That fucking blast a home run and end it, and the Mets will be on the buses. Or no, Phillies are coming to town. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all
Nah, you know what I think is gonna happen? I think the Mets are gonna walk off this game. They're gonna be happy go lucky. People, we're all three of us, we're all gonna be excited that they walk off, whatever you always do. And then the Phillies are gonna come into town and they'll take 2 or 3, or they'll sweep us and just put us right back into the same position. I hate to be that person, but this season is starting to develop like prior seasons. And again, we're only 38 games in. Us three, we've all been there in terms of seeing a poor Mets team turn things around. And we've also seen the wheels completely fall off the wagon like they did last year in June when they had their nice little June swoon. Um, so again, hopefully the boys can start hitting. Hopefully the pitching can keep it down, because right now the bullpen is really the only thing that is a positive for the Mets. And we we mentioned how good the potential of the bullpen could be, but we didn't realize that it would be the only good piece of the ball club as we,
Yeah.
are into mid-May already, which is absurd.
Nice.
There we go. Base hit. Who was that?
Marta.
Starling Marte. He
So finally
finally,
he's
yeah,
looking up. Yeah, he's
yeah,
looking up into yeah.
he's praising God. Yeah, his first hit in like 3 months. No,
2 months.
feels like it. All right, gentlemen. Well, looking ahead, uh, as we've said at least 3 times already, the Mets welcome in the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow night, May 13th. They'll play a 7-10 game. For the Mets, it'll be, I can't go more than 5-6 innings. Sean Manaea. He will go up against left-hander Christopher Sanchez, who's having a great season, 3.22 ERA thus far. On Tuesday night, Jose Buda will take the bump. He will be opposed by Aaron Nola. And then an Aaron Nola, 3.67 ERA. He's doing his thing like he normally does. And then the Mets will head, after the 2 games at Citi Field, the Mets will then hop on the bus. They will head to Philadelphia, where they will see Ranger Suarez on Wednesday and Taijuan Walker, our former friend, on Thursday. Ranger Suarez 7-0 with a 1.50 ERA. That should be
incredible this year.
Yeah, he's been wild. That should be a great game for this Mets offense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He'll go 8 and no hit us.
Yeah. He'll probably no hit us. And then the Mets, after they wrap up that 2-game set in Philadelphia, they will head down to Miami, play 3 in Miami, followed by 3 in Cleveland. So the only, I'm not going to say easy series for the Mets, because we all know how much the Marlins always kill the Mets, but that's really the only series that I see the Mets really doing some damage in. Again, I'm hoping I'm wrong, hoping that we're all wrong about everything we've said, but we'll see. Boys, any final notes before we wrap up?
Yeah, London bobblehead.
Oh, yes, Maddie, thanks for bringing that up. So
London bobblehead.
yes, so again, Matt was one of the lucky fans who brought home the London bobblehead, the Mr. Met London bobblehead. He's sitting in a nice telephone booth. There's the box. If you're watching on YouTube, nice QR code in the back. Don't know, what is that for? Did you scan it?
I did not scan it yet.
Does it send you to London or some shit?
Who knows? It probably sends you to who knows?
You see that new thing that they have in the city where
The
it's like
portal.
the portal.
The portal to Dublin, where you sit there and look.
Yeah, I saw it.
But did you see what the person in Dublin put on there?
No, what they put?
So he holds his phone up, and one slide was something about 9/11.
Oh no.
I was like, oh, isn't this fantastic? That thing's been open for like a week.
Yeah, that's just like a recipe for disaster. And then I see videos of like New Yorkers going up when there's like not many people near the portal, and they're all like giving people in Dublin the fingers and whatnot and saying like F you to them. And then,
Oh,
people in New York are like, is this really real? And then all of a sudden you see someone in Dublin give the finger right back and whatnot. So yeah, that thing will be gone within the next couple weeks or months.
yeah, I'm sure.
All right.
But
Well,
yes,
again,
we'll be giving away this London bobblehead. So
yes,
stay tuned to our Instagram and follow the rules. We'll get in on this.
yeah,
And
I'll make the rules really simple here. Again, it'll be posted tomorrow, May 13th, on our Instagram at Cup of Mets. You know where to follow us. You have to be following us. You have to comment in the comment section. You have to tag 2 friends. And then for an entry, and then if you go ahead and you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify or Apple, send us proof, as well as subscribe to us here on YouTube. You will receive 2 extra slots.
so you can earn a total of 3 entries for this bad boy.
3 entries for that bad boy. And if you want, if you're Zach Short is up for the Braves, former Met watch here. But if you're a bobblehead connoisseur, it's a perfect bobblehead for you. If you go ahead and you enter and you win and you don't want it, as Matt said before, turn around, sell it on eBay, get 80, 90, $100, whatever they're going for. People are crazy. And now with that, now that we put that out there, that the giveaway will be going up tomorrow, boys, any final notes before we wrap up here?
No, maybe we can somehow catch a win tonight, but see.
Let's go Mets.
How about let's go Knicks too?
Let's go Rangers too.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for New York sports. Unfortunately, I don't root. Unfortunately,
is.
I personally don't root for the Rangers or the Knicks. So I'm here just watching the Mets lose, and my Islanders are eliminated. The Nets suck this year. Yeah, so boys, have fun. Have a lot of fun. I really hope you guys see a chip. Again, as said in the intro, give us a follow on Instagram, YouTube, and X. We are at Cup of Mets. Also, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, whether it be on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. Be sure to download the SeatGeek app, punch in code Cup of Mets at first purchase to get $20 off. And lastly, head to cupofmets.com to get all your favorite Cup of Mets merch. More apparel is on the way. For Rob Venegas, Matthew DeSantis, I'm Ian Bosniak. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you at some point this week. But for now, let's go Mets. Hopefully they can salvage the series finale. Good night, everybody.